Hello, this is Terry, and I'm joined with Bev and Royce, and it is Tuesday night, the 21st of September, and I believe it's the equinox tonight. So we should have some great energy going. I know the two ladies are feeling energy. Before we started, they were both going through the roof. So we see if we can bring them back down and they can share what was going on. But welcome to Conscious Gatherers, Season 2, Episode 51. And we hope you enjoy it. Ladies, are you with me?
We're here. We think we're here. We were feeling just these energies coming in pretty strong and just like getting hit, if you want to call it that, just a matter of a couple of minutes ago. And it's like, okay, we'll start. I think we got some company here as other beings with us tonight. So and maybe Good. They'll have something to share with us. We'll see.
So we did get a notice when we started that some of our recording time was limited. So hopefully all of this will be recorded before I have a chance to go in and delete some stuff so that we have room. So if for some reason this doesn't get fully recorded, that's the reason, just to let you all know that. Hopefully that won't be the case. I need to keep up on that a little bit more diligently. So, Bev, Royce, why don't you start off tonight with what you have gotten during the day or over the weeks, and we'll go from there.
Well, it's been an interesting week, and it's like, okay, where do we even start? I'm going to start here, and then we're going to go into what we call some time loops and time jumping, that sort of thing. And Royce has something that's happened to her or experience, maybe that's a better word to say, in the last few days. So I think that's pretty important and then really quite phenomenal. But earlier today, and I want to share it with you all, and that is what's going on today. And it's just very simple. So be stern but gentle in the coming days. And coming is correct. A lot of exposure, realizations, and nuances. He said, we will get through this. Remember why we all are here. So do remember that. And so I'm questioning, okay, do you want to take this any further? So, my mind goes like, okay. And I did get this information on the political front. Will be total change, and that the current administration will soon be out, and we'll have a different type of a government. So not anybody to panic on that. I think that's a good thing. There's just a lot going on, and a lot of changes need to be made. There are many that are information coming up for those who have no regard for human life, and they will soon be gone. So keep that in mind as we go through these times. And some of those people that come up that will be exposed, and we may be a little bit surprised at, but let them go and let it be. So, and we continue in keeping love in our hearts as we make these changes. Okay. Earlier in the week, I did get the word, the journey, and indeed we are on a journey. And one thing I received and I thought was interesting words was we're gathering up the pearls from other experiences, and we may perceive them as past experiences. But we gather up the pearls, and we don't necessarily need to recapture all the memories, especially those that we really don't care to take with us. And we release those because we understand why they're there for us to grow or experience in we term our physical body, which affects the total aspect of ourselves. So everything is in divine order. So I'm going to let Royce tell us her story, and I think it's very interesting how things work out.
This story, it boils down to our time, and we think that our time is linear, but the way I got to experience it this past week, it was I got very clear information on it's not linear at all. It's like one grand moment. So I need to go back in time and tell a little bit of a story, and then that leads up to what just recently happened and how those two are put together. Years ago, back in 1995, I believe I've told this story before, but this story is also in my book, When the Night Comes Creeping. I had a daytime visitation by these praying mantis types of beings who were approximately 6.5 to 7.5 feet tall. At the time, I was working on reclaiming my health, and so in the middle of the afternoon, when I started feeling a bit tired, I went to lie down for a few moments. And right as my head hit the pillow, something happened. It was like space in my bedroom herniated, and there I was in another space with these two mantis beings flanking me. The one on my right side leaned over me and touched a part of my body with this silvery pen-like instrument, which made my flesh sting. And then all of a sudden, the incident was over, and I was back in my bedroom all by myself. And I always pondered that, the way these praying mantis beings acted. They were just like on a mission to take care of something. There wasn't really any emotion about it. It was they came to do a job, they did it, and then they left. And so fast forward in time about 26 years, 2 weeks ago, I looked out the front door, and there was a praying mantis being, a nice-sized one, that was affixed to the entranceway to the front door. For several days, it moved from place to place within about 5 feet, and I began to interact with it and really felt this wonderful, I can't even put all of it into words, but it was this connection that was growing between us. And then suddenly I didn't see it anymore. It disappeared, and I thought I would never see it again. And a week later, which was just a few days ago, another slightly smaller praying mantis being appeared on the sliding glass door at the back of the house. I was actually quite overjoyed to see it because I've actually missed the first one a lot, more than I thought that I would. Excuse me. And I came in close to this praying mantis, and I started to talk to it, and then I noticed that part of one of its middle legs was missing. And after a few moments, I just thought, well, I can do energy work on this being. And so I began to do energy work on it, and I ended up with running light energy down its entire back. Now it was affixed onto the glass, holding on with all four feet, for the 2 front and 2 back feet, and running the energy down from its head down to the tip of its wings, which were held in tight around its body with my right hand. That's what I was doing. And as I ran my fingers down, I noticed that this being was doing something that really shocked me. It had lifted its front right hand up from the glass, and that's the hand that I was using to work energy on it. It lifted that leg up, and it began making the same motion that I was making with my right hand, doing the energy work down its body. And it was doing it at the exact time that I was doing the energy work. It was like mimicking what I was doing. And I was just I didn't know what to think about that. It was just so interesting. And then just a little bit later, while I was bathing, now I don't know if you're the same way I am, but something about being in the water that makes that internal connection just like hardwired. You get things very clearly. Excuse me. So I was bathing, and a very interesting thought became very clear to me. And it was about time and how it's truly not linear. It's like one eternal moment with no barriers to delineate it and break it into pieces. And I thought, wow, I now believe I know what that means to me. It was because I had reached out in present day. Now I had reached out to do energy work on that praying mantis. It was linked with the visitation that I had with those very large praying mantis beings 26 years before. And it kind of makes your head go kind of crazy, like, oh, wait a minute, how is this connected? But I knew that it was all, those beings were the same beings, yeah, I don't know if I'm making this very clear or not. Bev, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Well, I'm understanding it, yes. I mean, you did receive, if you want to say it, like a healing from these beings back 26 years ago.
Yes, I did. So it was that healing energy being used. They came to help my body, and I was helping the body of this smaller praying mantis being that was on the door. So it was the healing, you healed us, so we come and heal you. It's
even though they time jump, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
We see this time jump because we're so linear. It's just really interesting that at present day you helped the current small bug, if we want to call it, praying mantis, insect, yeah. And then, but it tied into 26 years ago.
Yeah, these evolved praying mantis beings came to me with healing. It was just quite incredible to have that made clear to me in that way about how time is. There's no separation of time. There are no barriers of time. It's just one moment. One eternal moment.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And then, Terry, do you have any comments?
I just find it very fascinating, that the synchronicity of all of that. And obviously it was that the first encounter 26 years ago was them giving you a healing that you were requiring. And this time it appeared that you reciprocated with it to them.
And which one came first? Did they happen at the same time? It's just.
Well, I'm not that confused, or to me it was, one happened one time and one happened another time, even though it could have happened simultaneously.
Yeah.
The folding in time, like Einstein talked about.
Yes.
And just like the book, The Wrinkle in Time. I think those things are all real, and I think that's how travel happens, interstellar travel, communication travel, entities in non-physical bodies travel. There's no limitation on the speed and distance that an entity in non-physical form, or maybe in physical form, we don't know what they can do and how fast they can manifest a body. But, I believe in all of that. I believe that it's always been available, and I think we'll learn more about it in the future, even though it's been here forever and ever, So I found that as a very interesting story that collaborates a lot of stuff. Very, very interesting.
I remember getting the information in one of my writings, and probably more than one of my writings, but it essentially said, we are the future you. So these beings, which is really us, have then come into this timeline to make the moves and change our current, what we call current. And I think that's why we're going through all these events, if you want to call it as such, right now, to make these changes, because we affect, first, the future. What we turn the future.
Yeah.
But it may not be the future. It's like,
Yeah, time is, the concept of, and thinking about time, past, present, future, and all that is a very interesting, you could get lost in it for, months, years, because in our reality here, we have a measurement, and that measurement's time. And part of that measurement of time is distance it takes to travel, from this point A to point B is measured in time. And then you have a distance on that. But who's to say that can't be, folded in, folded out, or whatever, and just you're instantly where your thoughts carry you. And I think that's where the next step's going to be. And I think that's where the other dimension individuals are and can manifest. I know that people all over the world at different times have seen different people manifest right in front of them and then gone. And I'm pretty sure that's what they were referring to in the Bible when, Enoch and Moses and all them just, evaporated into the atmosphere, and they called it into heaven, but they just evaporated because they were, no longer using a physical body, and they took that with them, and they were just using, whatever was available to manifest that body, and they could take it with them when they wanted to. I fully believe that, and I believe we have the capabilities right now to do it. It's our limited belief system that stops us from doing it. I don't think there's anything that we can't do if we believe in it and we honestly work on it. And that brings up the side that there are children that are being taught in the world now. I know there's a foundation in Utah, and there's one in England where the children ages from 8 to 12, or where they're able to read, they actually can read blindfolded.
Yeah.
And you can see them on the internet, where they have a blindfold on, their eyes and they're reading from a book. They don't need their eyes to read. So how does that happen? Well, it's the same thing as you don't really need your physical body to communicate or to do things or to travel. So, and those are the children of the future, where we were grown with a belief system that was taught to us. And now a lot of us are awakening, saying, that belief system is no longer valid for us, and our children and their children's is going to be a whole nother system that they are living in. And I think we'll see part of it depending on how old you are. But, I'm in my 70th decade, and I still plan on seeing some of that transpire. So exciting times are ahead of us. Even though there might be some turmoil coming, I think it's very exciting what's coming, what's possible, and what we'll be seeing. And some people will be shocked, and hopefully what we're geared to do, myself, Bev, and Royse, we're here to help you make that transition. And on that, we've been talking lately, and we're going to start shortly. We'll announce it when it's ready, but we're going to start what we call like an insider group or a membership, where the other Wednesdays when we're not having this podcast, we'll be holding a members only podcast where you can come in and ask questions, get some healings done, different things. And then now those recordings will be up on a membership site for members only. And it'll be very, very affordable. We're not trying to make a living off of this. We just want to be able to, if we're putting the extra time in, just to cover the cost to do that. And you'll be able to book sessions with each of us individually for our specialties. Each of us have a different specialty. My specialty is connecting you with your heart and connecting you with the subconscious, and so that you always know your where you are emotionally and stuff. And Bev has hers; she can tell you her specialty, and then Royce has hers, and I'll let them tell you what their specialty is. So if you want to book something with us on a time to cover those, that'll be available too. So Bev and Royce, maybe you'll tell kind of what you are special in and that you enjoy sharing. That would be wonderful.
Okay. Some of the things that I have been doing is I call it intuitive counseling versus readings, because it really is, you get into counseling when you start looking and assisting a person that would like to know a little bit more about themselves, or a little assuredness, or whatever comes up. And then I just assist them and let them do the work, of course. So it's really empowering themselves, and maybe seeing a little bit deeper where I'm able to do that. And then in the physical sense, and I do this, but I don't want anybody to think that they're going to be healed or whatever. But I do. I will look into a body and see if I can see anything. I'm not sure if I really want to do that or not. With people I know closely, I will do it, but some others I don't. That I'll assist in some healing type things, but I want to make sure that people don't think they're going to be magically healed, because it's really them doing the healing, and I'm just assisting. So I have to figure out a way to say that maybe a little bit better, because it's kind of a little tricky thing, and for me, and I just want to make sure I'm here to empower people, and that's really what it's all about.
I really dig on working with the animals. I connect with them, and sometimes they connect back with me. It's that open communication, and they'll sometimes let me know what it is that they need, or show me things from their past, so that maybe their companion, their two-legged companion, can help them further to be able to rectify a certain situation or whatever. I have done mediumship in the past, connecting people with people who have passed over to the other side of life. I do energy work, and we're kind of really jacks of all trades when it comes to things metaphysical. And so, it's like, let us know what you're needing help with, and probably one of us will be able to assist you in some way. So now I did want to add one little thing about the time thing that I was talking about with the praying mantises. It also opens up another idea of how we can have an effect on not just what we perceive as being the present, but to have an effect on what we perceive as being the past. So perhaps if enough of us concentrated on making a better future by looking back at the past, perhaps we can change the way some things have come about, to make our journey a little easier, to have people to look at themselves a little more clearly, to see that beautiful light that resides within all of us, and do something a little bit more productive with that.
No, I think that's what we're actually doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
We are the future you, which is us coming back and in one of my writings that I came upon a few days ago, I'm, looking at things, okay, whatever my attention needed to be drawn to, and I was drawn to, I have a workbook from my first book. So I put together a workbook to understand it myself and for other people. And one of my writings is called the Book of Jodiah. It says writing 34, again in my first book. And one thing is talking about is our missions. And this all ties in with what we're talking about. How magical is that, right? Not, but anyways, we are the ones who have been called to bring in the light, right? And it's really for us to understand the powerful life force of who we truly are. And so this mission, if you want to call it as such, is to bring about a finale of worlds in chaos. And we're seeing in our own world in chaos, and I'm hearing about other worlds in chaos. I heard there's been skirmishes on Mars, and I heard that's now done, and all is well there. That's happened on the moon, and that now is taken over by the sentient beings, and including, I think, us from Earth, and maybe some of our other planets. We're starting to hear about Jupiter and Saturn and some of these other ones. So there's other people that are quite knowledgeable on that and understand what is going on. So anyway, I was told that the new world, this is us, was created from times past and times future. How about that? Yeah. So existence is much more than what we have realized. It's life. It's a spark that moves within itself to create more sparks, so aspects of itself. We talked about other aspects of ourselves, exactly what we're doing now. So I said, I was also told no longer is the light to be suffocated. I said, well, that's interesting words, be suffocated. They said the light is to consume the darkness, meaning the world's in chaos. And then I thought this was a pretty strong statement. This is the mission of love in its highest form. So anyway, it's what's going on today, and we're realizing who and what we are, and we're seeing the changes going on, and some of them might be a little bit scary for some, and we're like, I don't really want to go there, but it's like stand up. And I think a gal named Delana Denon said, just put out a podcast. It was quite strong, stand up. And one of the things that we've been getting, and we mentioned it on the podcast, is speak up and speak out. And we're starting to see that on this earth. We're saying no more will we be suppressed.
Yes, and my mom, the whole time I was growing up, she repeated this to me so many times, I can't even tell you. She said, a doormat is good for one thing and one thing only, and that is to wipe your feet on. So if you act like a doormat, then expect to be treated like one, to have people to wipe their feet on you. Don't do that. Stand up. Be accounted for what you are, that beautiful being of light. You have a place here. You have a mission to spread the light, to do the work of light. So let's get on with it.
Yes.
Here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, this is a time where all of us, also give Mother Earth, Gaia, a lot of love too. Go out and spend some time in nature. Go barefoot in the grass, or go barefoot in the sand, or even on, feel, because it helps balance your energies with the earth. And Mother Earth needs our love right now. And to know that we're all with her and she's with us, and we can help change anything that's going on, and make the changes maybe a little bit more palatable and easier to get through, as opposed to just saying what's going on, let's help in that and ease in those things that are happening.
The thing about reaching out to Mother Nature, I have found that most of the plants that I have around me, they love to hold hands. They love that interconnection between themselves and human beings. You know, they share energy just like we do. And they love it. They love that touch. So don't be afraid to lovingly reach out to your plant, your favorite plant, and even the ones that you don't like. Reach out to them too, and you might be surprised what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's no 6-foot social distancing there.
Yeah.
Actually, we as human beings need that touch.
That's right.
And so, you know, you start looking at that whole social distancing thing, and it's like, that's trying to keep trying to separate us. And a lot of people are saying no more, because that does, the human touch boost your immune system. And so if you want to get over any of the COVID stuff, it's to boost our immune system. Breathe the oxygen and enjoy each other's company. Laugh a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
as you said, Terry, you know, go barefoot in the grass. And
Yeah.
touch your plants.
But when you reach out with that sense of touch, be present. Be present and let that life force flow through, because when it's not real, that is felt as well. So be real.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great show for the night, ladies. Appreciate all the input that you shared. Our next podcast will be on Tuesday, October the 5th, moving into a new month. That'll be our 52nd episode and total and season 2. So with that, and we'll keep you posted on what we're moving forward in through our channel here, and also the newsletter that Bev puts out. Please, make a comment or something if you want to receive that. Put a comment in the YouTube channel. Let us know where to send it, and we'll get you on that list. So, ladies, say our final goodbye for the night, if you would, please.
Also, Terry, you have a phone number that people can call into and leave a message?
Yeah, I do, and I don't recall what the number is. Do you have it offhand?
I do.
I think it's
is 864-999-3008.
Very good.
And I believe
that's
it's on our
recorded
YouTube
message.
page.
So, you can leave a message there. And if you want to speak to one of us specifically, you can ask for that person. If you have a question for that individual or just a general question, you can leave that on there. And then what we'll do, and if you want a private answer, leave your name and number and we'll get back to you. If you just want us to talk about that question on our podcast, we'll do that too. And keep you anonymous if you want it that way. So very good. Thank you, Bev. I'll write that I have it somewhere else, but I don't know where it is.
I believe it's on our YouTube page too. So, yeah. So, and some people are a little afraid to ask a question, but you know what? If those listening have a question, that means other people, good chance they have the same question.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as Terry said, you can remain anonymous or not. It doesn't matter to us. It's just ask the questions and we'll do our best to answer. And by the way, I was, when we started this whole podcast and we were feeling these energy bursts, and I feel like I was getting knocked over a little bit, but I did see a couple beings standing nearby and I just saw them applauding. So it was really neat. Like, thank you.
Very good. Okay, then, until October 5th, we want to thank you for listening in, and we'll say goodnight from the three of us for Conscious Gatherers, session 51. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Good night.
I love you. Thank you for staying.